let's discuss catastrophizing, y'all. All right, I have 9 ways that you can stop catastrophizing now, but let's start with first defining it. Catastrophizing is a cognitive distortion where a person expects or imagines the worst possible outcome in any given situation, even when it's highly unlikely. Catastrophizing is an overreaction as a practice. And we're creatures that are habitual. We are creatures of pattern. So if we're accidentally practicing this a lot, we accidentally get stronger in catastrophizing. We can become addicted to processing the worst case scenario. And the truth is, the worst case scenario rarely comes to fruition. Some young part of us thinks if I look at the worst case scenario, then I'm protecting myself because I won't be blindsided. But that's not how it works in practice. It makes us feel more out of control instead of more in control. Here are 9 ways to stop catastrophizing now. Number 1, look at and accept what is in your control and what is outside of your control. To be able to do this, to check yourself, to check in with what can I control and what don't I have control over, it takes stopping and slowing down. Not just on the outside and the things that you're doing. It takes a permission and an invitation and a requirement of self to stop the spinning on the inside, to slow down internally, to be able to consider other options than the worst case scenario. We don't have unlimited energy, y'all. Healing and self-care is accepting that it's our own job to manage our precious energy. The reaction into worst case scenario may feel automatic. That's just a feeling, y'all. And sometimes our feelings are liars. And this is a place and a time when your feelings are lying to you. Number 2, accept and work with the part of you who catastrophizes. The part of you, y'all, it's not your entire being. It is a part of you who learned to do this. The hard truth, if we had a lot of trauma and dysfunction in our family of origin, I may always hear a worst case scenario storyline as a whisper in a part of me that was connected to me trying to survive my life. What I figured out how to do, surviving, doesn't work for me to thrive. If I'm taking care of myself in this one precious life, I am moving myself more and more away from what I have to survive and more towards how I can thrive. I may always hear that worst case scenario storyline, but I don't have to choose it. I don't want my most reactive, ungrounded parts allowed to drive the bus of my life. My wise woman is the only part of me allowed at this point in my life to drive the bus of my life. You can tap in your wise woman. You can tap in your wise man. Number 3, focus on the present and what has actually happened. If you want to use the present moment to plan and to prep for something, you totally can. But do that healthily and not dysfunctionally. You have just as much power to choose and practice the vibe. So you could plan with a vibe of, cool, I feel empowered. I'm doing what I can do. It gives me a sense of control, and I like controlling what I can. But a lot of people will prep for something or plan for something in their lives with a storyline that's more this vibe. It's going to be awful. And I'm frantically running around town, losing my precious energy like a bag of marbles got turned over and is going in every direction. Once we become aware of this, do you see how silly it would be to continue practicing frantic energy? You are in charge of you. So take charge of you and know that it is enough to deal with the present moment, and planning does not need any kind of amped up or upset energy. Because it's positive to be able to plan in the present moment for whatever you deem important to give your precious energy to. Number 4. All right, you want to worry about something? Set a worry time limit. All right, let's say you're worried about people in a war-torn country. How much of your day are you willing to give to that? My suggestion is 2 minutes, tops. And to for real set a timer. And worry hard for those 2 minutes. Every worrisome thought you could possibly throw on the fire, let that worry burn up like a big old bonfire. And then tell yourself that is enough. Number 5, watch out for the traps of what ifs. What ifs can pave a road to hell. What is better to play with than what ifs. If you get worked up on what ifs, what if this happens? What if that happens? You are sending yourself on an unnecessary ride. You are sending your nervous system, your mind, your body, your heart on an unnecessary, crappy ride. What is? I will deal with what is. What is grounding. What ifs are anxious. Number 6, be cognizant of using realistic language. Let go of extremes. No always, no nevers. Use less dramatic language internally and externally. Here's an example. I'll fail and embarrass myself and will never be able to show my face again. Do you hear the extreme drama in that? Here's a reframe with much less drama and more grounding. Yeah, I might fail, but I'm going to give myself some points for trying, for getting out of my comfort zone. All embarrassment fades eventually, and it's good practice for me. Can you feel the difference? One is charged and dramatic. The other is grounded in the reality that if we are living a full life, we're probably going to get embarrassed a lot, and that's okay. We can ground ourselves. We can calm ourselves. I'm okay, and I'll be okay, even if I'm uncomfortable. Number 7. So if you find yourself catastrophizing, you can sit with pen and paper. Might be too much to hold this just in the mind, but break it down into smaller, more workable parts. And here's the kicker, y'all. Embrace the lessons. More often than not, whatever is happening to us is not the end of the world. It's just the end of a path. It's an experience that offers rich lessons. It's just that life is a co-creation. And we are not always in complete control of what's happening or what lessons we are set to learn, or when those lessons will find us or be taught to us or give us the opportunity to learn. Embrace the lessons, and you embrace being more grounded and calm. Number 8, gratitude as a practice. Finding gratitude for some of those lessons has not always been easy for me, but that gratitude starts to pave the road away from deepening my pain. I grew up inside a lot of poverty, y'all. So much sense of lack. And any unexpected charge or bill for my family growing up was an absolute catastrophe in my home. It was modeled for me catastrophizing. The first time a healer told me to practice gratitude when an unexpected bill came, and I was young and I was broke, I thought they were out of their mind. I felt like I was being buried by financial struggle. And I decided, it was like a spiritual moment where I just thought, screw it. I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to do it, even though I don't believe it. So a bill came in, right? As they do. But this one time, instead of catastrophizing and just sitting in my anger like it was an angry soup, I said aloud, I'm grateful I have the funds to pay this. And I just repeated it. I'm grateful I have the funds to pay this. I'm grateful I have the funds to pay this. Putting my foot down, not allowing my mind to do what it wanted to do because it had been a pattern, and say, maybe this time you'll really be homeless this time, catastrophizing. And it clicked for me. It didn't mean I didn't have to still work hard for it, but it clicked for me in that moment. That even if one day a bill made me homeless, even that wasn't the end of the world. That I could recover from that too. So I didn't need to torture myself. How many times had I thought I wasn't going to have money to eat and then I ate? This is what develops when we grow up with not enough safety and security. I'm grateful today. Even when unfair expenses, hardships come up related to money and not, I'm grateful that I know how to practice self-respect, self-trust in me, in my abilities to take care of me, in my ability to pivot, to change if I need to, if I decide to, if it's right for me. The last one I have for you, number 9, consider limiting time with people and media who catastrophize like they are going for the Olympic gold in worst case scenarioing. Y'all, we really are living through a societal shift. Practice emotional boundaries by observing and not absorbing this from other people, from media, from technology. This is the practice we offer ourselves when we say to ourselves, I observe, I don't absorb that. That is not mine. That is yours. I do not choose it. You get to protect your mindset that you are working so hard to cultivate, to let go of what no longer serves you. So we don't have to practice what no longer or never did serve. Self-care is self-respect. It must be actionable. Refuse life's constant invitations to catastrophize, and you will feel safer and more secure, no matter what is happening in your personal world and the larger world. There's so much healing available. There is so much more peace in the world. Light and love. I am an emotional badass. You are an emotional badass. And together we are where Moxie meets mindful. Light and love. And I'll be right here next week for a brand new episode. Take care. Bye-bye.